Winterbourne House and Gardens, just a few miles away from the city centre, was built for Margaret and John Nettlefold, who in the early 20th century was the first chairman of the Housing Committee in Birmingham. He was a pioneer of town planning and revolutionised the living conditions of many of the city's residents. Inspired by the garden suburb of Bourneville, he wanted to show how Birmingham could be expanded to become the second city with affordable housing in a garden city environment. Whereas George Cadbury had provided houses and facilities for his employees, Nettlefold wanted to provide them for all the residents of Birmingham, and he saw Moor Pool as a radical but financially secure solution. Once rolling hills on the outskirts of Birmingham, Moor Pool's first group of houses were built in 1907, and Margaret Nettlefold performed the first sod cutting ceremony. About 500 houses were built for the tenants, who contributed to the planning, finances and the management of the estate and received a dividend from the rental income.
I was born here in this house, 1918. No one was ever allowed to buy a house. They were all to be let, and it was built on the idea that it should cater for all types, artisans and professional people.
As an example of community planning, Nettlefold's vision contrasted sharply with the cramped back-to-back housing in the city centre at the time. With no gardens and little room for air circulation, sanitation and health problems were rife. His solution was to get away from the idea of similar-looking cramped housing and instead build properties of varying designs.
I was born on this estate, and everything that we have now was here when I was a small child. We were lucky that we had grass verges on every street. We were able to clean the roads. We have a wonderful hall, which is a reception area. I had my wedding reception in Moor Pool Hall many years ago.
Directors walked round the estate, and they didn't just walk round the road. They walked round all the paths at the backs of the houses. They wanted to see that the hedges were cut, and they were cut. People did cut them. They looked after things. Any rubbish or anything else that was about, there was a fuss made.
Hidden from street view, the allotments were integrated with the garden areas behind the houses. This setting provided a much healthier environment.
The gardens aren't that large, so really having an allotment particularly close to your back garden is invaluable. This is shared by three of us and the community. The greenhouse is used for raising plants, which we sell later on in the year, and that are planted out to enhance the estate. And we also sow some seeds and harden them off in the troughs under the trees. And there's a lot of people who would like to take on allotments, particularly today where we grow more and more food.
As Birmingham grew, the lands surrounding Moor Pool were developed, leaving this unique enclave which has survived remarkably intact to this day with its admirable sense of community. There are no cut-throughs or a shopping centre, so this architectural gem is rarely noticed by people driving through nearby Harborne. The facilities, which were originally intended for the tenants of the estate, are now also accessible to citizens and children outside the Moor Pool Conservation Area.
I think the facilities at Moor Pool are fantastic. They do provide a real positive effect for the local community, somewhere to come with your children. The children learn through the play that's provided here. Mums get a chance to meet each other and socialise. I think if we lost the playgroup, it would be a real shame, and a lot of mums would really miss it, and dads, because we do get quite a few dads that come as well.
I've been coming to the playgroup for the last 3 to 4 years, and every Friday, and it's been a real positive effect. Meeting other parents and other children in the area, and it's a big sense of community within Moor Pool itself.
Well, facilities in Moor Pool are excellent. So we come here to the toddler group every Friday with Tess. They're invaluable. The kids love it. If we didn't have it, it would be a disaster.
For me, this place is a lifeline, especially when she was tiny, just to get out, to meet other mothers. I didn't have to go in the car, I could just walk here, and everyone else is local, they're really nice, really friendly, and I don't know, I can imagine if I was living in a different part of town, an experience of being a mother of a young child would just be totally different.
As all our community facilities at Moor Pool are currently owned by a private company, we've set up a trust to take ownership of all these assets for the local community. These assets include our open spaces, allotments, tennis courts, bowling green, snooker club and the unique wooden skittle alley.
The skittle alley, I think, is one of the only ones in the Midlands, and we've always had bowling green and fishing on the pond.
The Trust has also applied to the Charity Commission for charitable status, and this will enable us to make a far wider range of applications to restore the estate. We've put in an application to the Lottery Fund to buy the Moor Pool Hall, which is a listed building.
Local residents over the past few years have started a process of restoration of the area, restoring the grass verges, the allotments and the street signs.
Being a director of the Heritage Trust enables me to take part in the environment, not just for me, but for everybody else.
I think this was founded as a community, and the local people were very much involved in what was happening. And so I think it's terribly important that the local people are involved in running it, making sure that the things that happen on the estate are what we want to happen. I mean, we all live here because we want to live here. People were clamouring to move on to the estate. So I think it's very important that we keep it as it was and that we manage to run things in the way that the people want them run.
Fantastic sense of community here over the past, from generations behind. And what we're hoping for the future of the Moor Pool is that that sense of community continues.
Open days are held and plans include converting this now derelict builder's yard into an eco-classroom and heritage centre where school children can visit and learn about nature, sustainability and recycling.
We're fighting very hard to keep all our facilities so that everybody on this estate, and people outside as well, can use and enjoy what we have had for so many years.
In short, the Trust is a vehicle to secure Moor Pool for the future, to enable everyone to continue to enjoy and benefit from the various features of Nettlefold's original vision for the garden suburb community. For more information, please go to our website at www.moorpool.com.